Northern Hero here. Today we was a bit shocked at some news that a family friend of ours has died. He used to be a pastor. I mean, it's a shock when anyone dies, but it's good that he's in heaven now. I'll just tell you a bit of something. His name is Morris, who's died, and he used to be a very rough bloke, on drugs, alcohol, and always fighting and stuff. He had some drugs once in a pub. He was high, and he felt as though someone told him, go out and look for any blokes at any bus stops and knock them out. And that's exactly what I did. People were scared to death of him. And when he was in prison, he tried a lot of different kinds of religions and that, you know, like meditations and that. He drew a circle and put a point, and put like a smaller circle inside the circle, and meditated on it for hours and hours, and it began spinning round, and he began to go in the circle and stuff, and he had to shake himself out of it. A God gave him a Bible, and you know, he didn't believe in God and that. He says, I don't want to read that load of rubbish. And he got hold of the Bible and he threw it in his cell, and it opened up at a certain page, and he was drawn to go to the Bible. And I mean, obviously he did all sorts and that in his life, you know, drugs, fighting and stuff like that. Anyway, he, I can't remember why he got, I think why he got thrown in prison is because an Asian bloke stabbed him, and he got hold of him and gave him a good beating, I think. Something like that, Anyway, he was in prison with a Bible opened up on the floor, and even though that he didn't want to read it or anything, he didn't want to have anything to do with God, he was drawn to it. He was also into the occult as well, and he read the 2 pages and got saved from God. He accepted Jesus Christ at that moment, and he felt something come on him, something holy, and he knew from that moment on that the Bible and God is the truth. And then after a bit he became a pastor, going to different churches and that. He had spiritual gifts as well. I can remember about a year ago, I was at work, and he said to me, Dad, we've got to pray for me, like Northern Hero. We've got to pray for him right now. There's something not right going to happen or something or whatever. We've got to pray, right? And I think they pray for protection on me and stuff like that. And that night, when I was coming home from work, a car was flashing its headlights at me non-stop, like, you know, this happened quite often, but this night I was really calm, and I couldn't care less who was in the car as well. It looked like that stoker who I videoed the other day. I think it was him. But there were about 5 people in. Now, any other time I think I'd have pulled car up at some traffic lights and gone to the car. Who knows what might have happened that night? They might have stabbed me, or I don't know, but they had to pray for me that night. And you know, God has used Morris a lot of times. In fact, he told us you know, a few years ago that he was praying. Oh, that's it. The Lord told him to go really far out at way because somebody needed help, right? And he went quite a few hours away from here. God told him which garage it was. There was a garage somewhere. He went in the garage, sat in the car, and he thought, well, there's no one here. And he even gave the garage a track, you know, about God and that, or being saved or something, I don't know. So we thought, well, it must be just me giving him a track or something. Coming out of the garage, at the bus stop, there was a man sat on the floor with his head down like that. So he pulled the car up and he said to him, can I help you? You know, do you want a lift or anything? And the guy who was sat down said, I have been praying to God that someone would come and give me a lift and take me somewhere. And apparently he had a lot of other lifts as well, you know, but it took him which city he wanted to go to, or near on. He wanted to go to near our city actually, so I think he took him, I don't know whereabouts actually, but he came from another country. He wasn't an immigrant or anything like that. I think he went on holiday or something, or may have lost his he lost everything, money, passport. And God told Morris, that bloke who died, you know, to go down there, and it's always worked well with my dad in like discernment and stuff like that. There was a guy, my dad's just told me a story actually of, in fact my dad got him, you know, a job where my dad used to work at, and my dad would just say, no, there was another guy who works there who used to be on drugs and that and alcohol, and Morris said to my dad this day at work, God's just spoke to me and he says, go up to this other guy, and he says, this time you're going to touch his shoulder and he's going to know that I am real. So I think he told him once or twice before about God and that, and about being saved, but he wouldn't have it. I think he just says, oh yeah, I believe you, you know, that kind of thing. Anyway, this time he knew it was really strong on him to go up to him. So he went up to him, he says, you alright, how you doing and that? So this other guy says, you know, alright, and whatever. So he says, I'm going to tell you something now. I'm going to touch your shoulder and you're going to know that God is real. He may have said a prayer as well, I don't know. And after he did that, he says, the other guy says, ooh, wow. And he felt all electric go throughout of his body. An electric feeling. I can't remember a lot of stories now, but he had a heart attack and a stroke at this, well, near enough the same time, and my dad were worried, so he kept phoning up. I mean, he has been coming to our house for like prayer meetings and well, just a little chat as well sometimes, every week or every few weeks or so. But he hasn't been for about 5 weeks, so my dad's been ringing mobile up and that, and I think one of his relatives, his daughter, answered the phone and said, oh, my dad's had a heart attack and stroke, been in the hospital, but this were a few days after he had it, and she says, oh, he's just beginning to open his eyes now. He's just paralysed down one side, and he can't speak right good as well. So we got in touch the other day, or she might have phoned us up. Says, oh, you know, Dad, we're getting better. He were actually believing for a miracle, that God would heal him, because he's had trouble for a long time, you know, with his stomach and stuff, but he never got a full healing. And he used to pray for people at church just last year and that, and he used to get healed, and he used to be full of the Spirit of God. Church where he went to, I don't know which kind of church it was, but obviously a church where they preached Jesus Christ. And they used to look at Maurice gone out after, thinking, you know, because he used to be out of breath and that after. So my mum and dad have known him for a long time, since late 60s I think. I don't know, or it might have been early 70s, something like that anyway. But he's in heaven right now. But it's just strange, isn't it, sometimes? But he's been wanting to go to die, like, for quite a while, because my dad was just saying, he says, oh Lord, take me home, because he's had a lot of trouble and that in the last few years, and God took him home. But it's strange, isn't it, sometimes, that some people get healed and some people don't get healed. I know we can't live on the planet forever. It'd get a bit boring actually, living on this planet forever. You know, there's too much evil, isn't there? And it just depresses. I mean, I think 90 years or so, or whatever, is quite enough. Maurice wasn't 90 or anything like that. He was in his late 70s, I think. But it's strange how some people get healed and some people don't. But he has been suffering for a long time, Maurice. He had an oxygen tank in his home, and a lot of operations on his stomach. Can't remember exact what he had, what ailments he had up with him, but he's in a much better place right now. And I just pray that God would send maybe someone else to my mum and dad who's got a great supernatural gift of discernment, a strong believer in Jesus. I pray, Lord God, for that to happen. Send someone in Jesus' name. Maybe a neighbour or something, or send someone. Oh, and you know, my mum and dad was just telling me that they had a dog, Maurice and family and that, and obviously when the dog died, they were really upset, you know, crying and that. All of a sudden, one of the doors were open, the back door I think were open, and a cat came in and jumped on his daughter's knee, and he knew that that cat was from God, because they were upset that they lost the dog and God sent him a cat, and they've still got the cat now. Well, obviously not Maurice because he's died, but his family and that. So he'll be having a good time in heaven right now. So yeah, I just wanted to mention this. God bless and goodbye. And I know the Nero will see you another time. I might not do any videos for quite a while, because I've been doing for quite a few videos actually. So I might upload something else, maybe from God channel or something, or you know, find something different, you know, so my subscribers can see something different, because it's not all going to be me all the time on this channel. It's obviously going to be other speakers and that. So I will see you next time. See ya.